We don't have enough willpower. Just get off your phone, rely on your discipline, and push through things. That is exactly how you achieve hard things in life. I'm not going to make that video now because I don't believe in that approach anymore. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to achieve hard things in life through enjoyment, through regulating your energy, not through pushing through and suffering, through a softer approach, because this is the kind of thinking that is genuinely changing my life right now. Hi, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Veronica, and on this channel, I help you slow down, regulate your nervous system, and reconnect with your true goals and values. Before we get into it, I want to invite you to join my free weekly newsletter, Aligned. Every single week, I send out an email with all of my personal reflections and all the things that I don't talk about here on YouTube. It's completely free, and the link is going to be in the description. Alright, so let's begin with the first section. And here, I want to talk about this phrase that we all love to use very often. I'm lazy. I'm lazy, that's why I don't want to do this thing, that's why I don't want to achieve hard things in life, that's why I don't have any goals. I used to believe that I was lazy in the past, and I thought that you are either a lazy person or you shut up and just do it. And then on the other side, you get to pump your chest and say, look at everything I have achieved. I'm great, I'm amazing. Now thinking back to around 6 years ago when I was in college and I loved to use that phrase, I loved calling myself lazy, now I realized that I wasn't lazy at all. I was exhausted. I didn't have any energy for anything else except for my work and my studies. And so when I ask myself, am I lazy now? The answer is obviously no. Like, this framework is definitely missing something, and a very important something. That is the whole reason for today's video. My approach to doing hard things in life has completely changed. Now I'm learning to achieve hard things in life through enjoyment and through prioritizing my energy, not through suffering and just pushing myself, because otherwise, if I don't do it, I'm gonna call myself lazy. And the reason why I started thinking about it more and more is because randomly I wanted to journal about this interesting idea. You can do it too. I like to call it a grandmother test, or you can do a grandfather test. Imagine you're old. You're a grandmother looking back at your life, and we're gonna look at two different versions. So version one is you decided to suffer through every single achievement in your life. So now you're a grandma and you're looking back. You think, I pushed through everything. I was never lazy. I suffered through every single achievement. And how does it actually make you feel now? When I did that exercise, I wrote disappointed? Like I wasted my life on completely useless stuff just to prove a point. To sit here and be like, that is me. You know, I suffered through every single thing in life. And I'm here and I'm great and look at me. So now let's look at version two. You're a grandma now, and instead of the suffering path, you chose the enjoyment path in life. The path where you were prioritizing your energy. Every hard thing you wanted to do in life, every goal you set for yourself, you found a way to enjoy it, to enjoy the process of doing it. And when I look back from there, the word that I wrote was peace. I feel peaceful. I feel like I am in the right place. Like I did it right, truly right. And when I do this exercise right now, like if I want to do it again and again and again, the suffering path always loses for me, because I understand that at the end of the day, I don't really care about, pumping my chest and telling everyone that, look at me, I'm the best. What I care about is this inner peace. Understanding that all of the things that I wanted to do and achieve in life, I did that through enjoyment, not through burning myself into the ground. Before I go deeper into this idea, let me show you something that's been genuinely helping me do hard things in life, because it fits into our conversation today perfectly. This video is sponsored by Soundcore, and these are their new Anker Soundcore Liberty 5 Pro and Pro Max. One thing I talk about constantly on this YouTube channel is overstimulation. And so much of the friction around doing a hard thing, like sitting down to read or maybe having a call, or you decide to write something, is that the world is loud and your attention is getting pulled in 10 different directions before you even begin. So the first thing I really love about these is the noise cancellation. I put them in and the noise just drops away, and suddenly there's this little pocket of quiet that's just my time. Their adaptive active noise cancellation processes tens of thousands of noise signals in real time and delivers some of the best noise cancellation I've personally experienced. It's summer right now, and I think a lot of you guys can relate to this feeling when you want to work from the outside table at the coffee shop in the sun, and then you get a call and the other person can barely hear you through all the traffic and chatter. So you end up apologizing, sorry, it's loud here, and moving inside. One of the biggest challenges with earbuds is maintaining clear calls in noisy environments. The Liberty 5 Pro series was built to solve that problem. In fact, it earned the Guinness World Record for the world's clearest earbuds for calls after outperforming 13 flagship competitors. So I decided to test them myself.
Hey, can you hear me okay? I'm at a coffee shop right now. It's pretty busy out here.
You can hear all the noise.
Hey, can you hear me okay? I'm at a coffee shop right now. It's pretty busy out here.
Right? You can barely hear the street. It just sounds like I'm sitting somewhere quiet, and that is just so amazing. And that's the whole point. These earbuds were literally built around call quality. In the same way, achieving hard things in life often comes with distractions and obstacles. But with the right tools and systems, those things are much easier to overcome. The Pro Max does everything the Pro does, but the case also has a little screen and an AI note taker. Sometimes we have an idea that just feels too overwhelming to organize, so the AI note taker can help you capture key thoughts, record ideas freely, and automatically summarize them into actionable steps. Soundcore offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk in trying. If you want to try these earbuds, make sure to use my link in the description. Alright, so now let's move on and talk about the new set of questions that I like to ask myself now before I commit to doing something really hard. We remember that in the past I would ask myself, am I lazy? Am I not lazy? Am I disciplined? Am I not disciplined? And now I like to journal about something completely different. So the first thing I ask myself is, does this thing, this goal, this hard thing, make me feel grounded? Like, I know it's hard, but does it make me feel grounded or like I'm braced? Like my full body is just extremely tense. And the second question is, how much would I pay not to do this thing? Because if I would pay a lot to get out of it, that is very useful information worth listening to. I'm gonna share a personal story right now to illustrate all of these questions a little better. So a while ago, I found this yoga studio that I really wanted to go to, but the thing is, it's like 40 minutes away from my house, 40 minutes there, and 40 minutes back. And the classes that I really wanted to go to started at around 7 something a.m. So that would mean I would have to wake up at around 6:30 a.m. And I wanted to go to that studio and attend all of those classes every single day. That was my ambitious goal, ambitious thing that I created in my head. But obviously, now I know it was completely unrealistic. And how did I understand that for me it was completely unrealistic? After I answered those two questions I shared with you before. Because just the idea of, sitting in traffic for so long every single day, every single morning specifically, was making me feel tense, raced, but definitely not grounded. And second, I actually paid for some of the classes, for the membership to go there, and of course, I didn't attend all of the classes. Like, I wasted a lot of my money. And the thing that I realized was that I wasn't lazy. The problem wasn't that, I lacked discipline or willpower or there was something wrong with me. No, that was just my boundary. Like, I love exercising. I can exercise every single day. But if I create the routine for myself and if I don't have to spend like an hour and a half in traffic every single day, I understand that, okay, for me to feel comfortable, for me to feel grounded, I can only go to the studio probably twice a week. And all of the other days I practice at home. That's it. And just to be clear, I'm not trying to say that if you want to go to a studio or a gym that's really far away from your house every single day, it's a bad thing and you shouldn't be doing that. Absolutely not. What I'm saying is it depends on you. We're all so different. The point is learning how to tell the difference between this is not for me, this is my boundary, and I'm just being lazy. Another thing that helps me do hard things in life is understanding the difference between things that are frictionless and things that are full of friction. When we doom scroll, that is often frictionless. And plus, it's a super normal stimuli. It has way more dopamine than, talking to your friend in real life. That is why the brain gets hooked. It's the design. If we compare reading, for example, with doom scrolling, reading is full of friction, especially if you don't have the reading habit yet. You try to focus, you try to understand all of the sentences. Sometimes you space out, so you have to read the same paragraph multiple times. Your brain has to actively work to understand all the information and memorize the key aspects. And so the question that really matters when we set up difficult goals for ourselves is, do you actually love the thing underneath all of that friction? Because every single hard thing in life is going to come with some sort of friction. If you put your phone away and picture yourself reading and something deep in you lights up and you realize that, okay, this is who I am. I love reading books. It feels amazing. Then the goal isn't to suffer through reading. The goal is to find a way to actually enjoy it. So let's say with a book example, you can pick a book that has very short chapters, especially if you don't have the reading habit yet. Every chapter you finish is going to give you a dopamine hit. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to make you feel like you've accomplished something. You can pick a book that is just easy to read, like a children's book, for example. Something that will give you the joy of reading back. Something that is going to help you establish the habit, instead of picking a book that has 800 pages that, you're never actually going to finish, because yes, the idea of reading an 800-page book feels very good for our ego, right? It feels really nice to tell your friends, guys, I've just read an 800-page book. But that is just your ego. If you really think about it deep down, who are you trying to prove it to? You already know that you can do hard things in life. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. And when I choose books to read, for example, I want to enjoy the process of reading, not just the destination. You know how at the end of every single year, people post on their social media, guys, I read 20 books, 50 books, 100 books. I mean, all of those achievements sound amazing and impressive, but to be honest, for me, it is so much more valuable to actually enjoy the process of reading every single book I pick. Another principle that helps me do hard things in life is thinking of hard things not as hard, but as unfamiliar. Unfamiliar to my schedule, unfamiliar to my energy, unfamiliar to my nervous system. Because if you really think about it, new things, new goals, they aren't hard so much as they require bandwidth. And right now, we spend a lot of our bandwidth on scrolling, on comparison, on looking over the fence at everyone else's life, on all the drama. When you reclaim your bandwidth, when you prioritize your energy, your recovery, restorative breaks, and actually resting properly, all the hard things in life stop feeling impossible. You just start realizing that, okay, I have this new goal. It looks hard, it looks scary, but at the end of the day, it's just unfamiliar. Like, I don't know how to approach it and where to actually start, and that is why it makes me feel scared. It makes me feel like it's hard. Before I started my YouTube career, I dreamed of making videos, and I thought it was extremely hard, you know, figuring everything out and actually recording something interesting, something that people are gonna want to watch. And plus, I wanted to make videos in English, and English isn't my native language. Like 6 years ago in 2020 when I started, my English was at a completely different level.